DeSantis taking a victory lap while laying out his roadmap of priorities for his second term as Florida's governor. With his wife and children by his side, DeSantis taking aim at the federal government and highlighting his accomplishments, calling the state of Florida a symbol of freedom, but notably did not mention any expectations beyond this term, with no indication if he has his eyes on a presidential bid. NewsNation's Brooke Schaefer joining us live. So, Brooke, his speech really focused on being the leader of Florida.
Yeah, Nicole, Governor DeSantis had a lot of the talking points that we have heard from him before. He talked about COVID mandates and this idea, like you said, about keeping Florida free. What he didn't talk about was 2024. Still, there is a lot of speculation tonight, especially because of DeSantis's tone in his speech today, that he is teeing up a run for the White House.
I, Ron DeSantis.
In front of the Florida Capitol today, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis was officially sworn in for a second term.
So help me God.
To a crowd of supporters, DeSantis boasted wins on what he described as a bold agenda.
We said we would ensure that Florida taxed lightly, regulated reasonably, and spent conservatively, and we delivered. We promised we would enact big education reforms, and we delivered.
The Republican governor also highlighted national topics like immigration and inflation, calling out the so-called woke ideology, a message reminiscent of his time on the campaign trail.
Federal government has gone on an inflationary spending binge that has left our nation weaker and our citizens poorer. We reject this woke ideology. We seek normalcy, not philosophical lunacy. We will not allow reality, facts, and truth to become optional. We will never surrender to the woke mob. Florida is where woke goes to die.
But absent from his speech was any mention of 2024. DeSantis has recently been seen as the top challenger against former President Donald Trump in a race for the White House.
I thought what was really notable was the tone. It wasn't, some announcement. It wasn't any indication whether he would serve out the next 4 years in the governor's mansion. It was who are you addressing? And it's hard to look at that speech today and say, you were only addressing Floridians.
DeSantis has had success in making Florida even more conservative. To win his re-election in November, he flipped traditionally Democratic Miami-Dade County. A survey of voters in Georgia last month even found DeSantis with a 4-point lead over President Joe Biden in a hypothetical 2024 matchup. But DeSantis's rising star in the GOP has also made him the target of former President Donald Trump, who endorsed DeSantis on his first run for governor. The former president asked about his attacks on the Florida governor in an exclusive NewsNation interview in November.
I got him the nomination. I thought that he could have been more gracious, but that's up to him.
DeSantis has so far dismissed any comments from the former president as noise. That campaign journalist I talked to today after DeSantis' speech told me that he thinks it'll be summer or fall before we hear one way or the other, Nicole, on a possible DeSantis run for the White House in 2024.
All right, Brooke, thank you for that. Well, up next, the Buffalo Bill. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.